You're on.
Hi Michelle, hi guys. I hope you guys are excited for our Bible reading today. We're going to be continuing on today where we left off yesterday. We'll be reading Romans chapter 8, verses 9 through 25. We'll be reading Psalm 18, continuing on with it, with verses 16 through 36. And reading Proverbs chapter 19, verse 26. So we only got one Proverbs today. We'll be reading in the New International Version if you'd like to follow along. Alright, so let's get started here in Romans. Continuing on with chapter 8. You, however, are not in the realm of the flesh, but are in the realm of the Spirit. If indeed the Spirit of God lives in you, if you are saved in the name of Jesus Christ, if you are covered in the blood of the Lamb, that's the same thing as covered in the blood of the Lamb is the same thing as being saved through Jesus Christ. So that's what it means by, indeed, if the Spirit of God lives in you. That's what it means. And if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, if they are not saved, they do not belong to Christ. But if Christ is in you, if you're saved, then even though your body is subject to death because of sin, because we talked about this yesterday, everybody is going to die, because if you sin, you're going to die. And everybody has sinned except Jesus, which is why Jesus is alive in heaven today. But we're all going to die, our bodies. But if you're saved, you'll see. Your spirit will live on in heaven. Okay. But if Christ is in you, even though your body is subject to death, even though you're going to die because of sin, the Spirit gives life because of righteousness. Because you are saved, because you love Jesus and are saved through Him, you will have righteousness. You will be in heaven for eternity in paradise. And if the Spirit of Him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, God, He who raised Christ from the dead, God, will also give life to your mortal bodies because of His Spirit who lives in you. So just like Jesus is alive, His body is alive, everything's alive with Him, but our spirit, when we die, if we are saved, we will be alive in spirit and go to heaven for eternity. Because what's in this body right now, what we speak, what we're thinking, what we're talking, that's our spirit thinking and saying these things. This is just a body, a shell that moves around. Therefore, brothers and sisters, we have an obligation, but it is not to the flesh, to live according to it. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the misdeeds of the body, you will live. If you live for stuff on this earth, and that's all you care about, and you don't get saved, there's really no hope for you. But if you are saved, your spirit will live on. Your body will die, but your spirit will live on. For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God. If you are saved, you are the children of God. The Spirit, the ones who don't get saved are still children of God, but they are lost. The Spirit you receive does not make you slaves. Jesus does not make you a slave when you are saved, so that you live in fear again. Rather, the Spirit you received brought about your adoption to sonship. When you were saved, you died with Jesus, and you rose with Jesus from the dead, and your spirit's going to live on. Now listen very closely. You were adopted into sonship when you were saved. You became a member of God's holy family. And by Him we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit Himself testifies, our spirit, that we are God's children. Now keep listening. Now if we are children, then we are heirs, heirs of God, and co-heirs with Christ, Jesus. Because we are saved, we are now God's daughters and sons. We are, just like Jesus is God's son, now we are co-heirs. We are brothers and sisters to Jesus and sons and daughters to God. If indeed we share in His sufferings, in order that we may also share in His glory. On this earth we shared in Jesus' suffering. We shared in that when we were, I was going to say baptized, when we were saved by Jesus, we suffered with him in death. Okay? So in order that, since we suffered in death with Jesus, we also will share in Jesus' glory, in God's glory. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. No matter what we go through on this earth, don't consider these sufferings on this earth, because you got so much to look forward to when you are not here no more. But by all means, don't take your own life, because God does not want that. You don't want to do that. You got a job here on this earth. Every single one of us has a job here on this earth. We're put here for God to do a special job for him. And when our job is done, we don't know what it is. Only God does. It may be something little, but little things are big things to other people. It may be something very, very simple to you that you may not even think, well, that wasn't nothing. Why was that my job? Anybody could have done that. But you were meant to do that, and meant to do that for that certain person. And that job was a great job for that person. So little things can be very big things. And when your job is through, then God will take you home. And that's what you want to keep doing. And try to bring as many souls to Jesus while you're here on this earth as you can. That is the main thing. Okay. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God. For the children of God to be revealed. For the creation was subjected to frustration, not by its own choice, but by the will of the one who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be liberated from its bondage to decay and brought into the freedom of glory of the children of God. We know that the whole creation has been groaning, as in pains of childbirth, right up to the present time. Not only so, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adoption to sonship, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we are saved. But hope that is seen is no hope at all. Who hopes for what they already have? But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. So just keep looking forward to what you're going to be having. Paradise. Paradise for eternity with the Lord. Just keep looking forward to that. When you're having a bad day and stuff ain't going your way, or something bad happens, Satan's stepping in your way, trying to turn you from the Lord, because you know he's going to keep doing that the rest of your life. Your life may be going perfectly fine, and then bam, Satan steps in and everything starts falling apart. That's Satan testing you to see if you'll turn from God, because bad things are happening in your life. But God's rooting for you to stay faithful the whole time, and he knows you will. So don't let Satan win. Don't let Satan win. Keep reminding yourself, someday soon when God takes you home, this is only your temporary home. This world is only temporary. You will be in paradise for eternity. So what's the worst thing someone can do to you on this earth? We're all going to die. What's the worst thing someone can do? We're all going to die. And if you end up dying by someone else's hand, you're going to go straight to paradise. If the devil sends someone to do something evil like that, you're still going to go to paradise. Nobody wants to go out like that, of course, and I pray nobody does. But there's people that do every day, and that's Satan's work. People blame it on God, some people do, but it's not God. I tell you over and over, only good comes from God. Satan is the one who does those evil things. Satan. And he may take somebody in your life that way to try to turn you from the Lord. He's the biggest liar and the most evil thing on this earth, on this world. And he would do that just to try to turn you from the Lord. He would take big measures like that in certain people. But we need to wait patiently, because we will get our time. We will get our time. And in the end, when the war comes between good and evil, good is going to win. Satan loses. It's already in the Bible. Satan loses. Good always triumphs over evil. And then we will all have nothing but happiness, peace, love. No sadness, no anger, no pain. No bad people. Don't have to worry about anyone breaking into your mansion in heaven. Don't have to worry about anybody hurting you or telling lies on you or anything. Nobody's going to act like that there. It's all just going to be paradise. Imagine the most paradise, peaceful, wonderful place you can imagine. It'll be 1,000,000 times better than that. 100,000,000 times better than that. Okay, so let's read our psalm for today. We're continuing on with Psalm 18 with verses 16 through 36. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from the powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. The Lord has dealt with me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands. He has rewarded me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord. I am not guilty of turning from my God. All his laws are before me. I have not turned away from his decrees. I have been blameless before him and have kept myself from sin. The Lord has rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his sight. To the faithful you show yourself faithful. To the blameless you show yourself blameless. To the pure you show yourself pure. But to the devious you show yourself shrewd. You save the humble, but bring low those whose eyes are haughty. You, Lord, keep my lamp burning. My God turns my darkness into light. With your help, I can advance against a troop. With my God, I can scale a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. He shields all who take refuge in him. For who is God besides the Lord? And who is the rock except our God? It is God who arms me with strength and keeps my way secure. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He causes me to stand on the heights. He trains my hands for battle. My arms can bend a bow of bronze. You make your saving help my shield, and your right hand sustains me. Your help has made me great. You provide a broad path for my feet, so that my ankles do not give way. And that was Psalm 18, verses 16 through 36. Okay, now ending our Bible reading today is Proverbs chapter 19, verse 26. Whoever robs their father and drives out their mother is a child who brings shame and disgrace. Honor your father and mother. Remember that. Even if they are bad to you, what would Jesus do? Be even more nice to them. Be even more nice to them. For we are not to judge them or judge each other. Only God can judge. If you try judging someone, God will be like, God's like, who are you to judge my children? Only God can judge us. Let me see here about that. Okay, the prayer requests. Please continue to pray for the family and friends of Amber Parsons, who passed away. And please pray for Melly Ramey, my sister, because she was good friends with Amber. I actually went to high school with Amber and youth group. I knew her well, and I liked Amber. But we were really ever never seen each other after high school and youth group. I seen her once when she was working at a store close to where I lived at the time. But that's it. But Melly spent a lot of time with her, and they were really good friends. Please pray for Barb Post, my stepmom. Last I heard, she was still in the hospital. I don't know if she's made it back to the nursing home now or she's still in the hospital. I don't get any very good updates. And when I ask, I don't really get no information, so I really don't know. I write her letters, but I don't think she's able to write back. So I only know what I hear. Please keep in prayer April and Linda Thacker. They still have the page up for Vidalia. Keep her in your prayers, please. That's that little fur baby of April's, her little dog. So cute. You can see him on the page if you go there. Just look up April Thacker on Facebook, and she'll give you the link, or it'll bring up the link. Please pray for Sandy and Rosie. Sandy always has a hard life and a hard time. She's got a very important job, so please pray for her. Please pray for Dora Harper, my aunt. She's a widow and lives alone. She's had a lot of heartache in her life, but she stayed strong to the Lord. And I really look up to her so much, and she's got so much strength. I just admire her so much for all she's been through, and she keeps her strength in God still so strong, and goes on like, I know she hurts down deep, but she really doesn't like to show it, I know. But she's very strong and faithful, and I really, really look up to her. She's one of the strongest women I've ever known. Please pray for Dave Hemrick. He's actually my cousin, and he's got bladder cancer. Please pray for Sherm Crabtree, my husband. Please pray for Randy Post. That's my dad, and his girlfriend Jody Mahorter, and her kids Nikki Mahorter and Ronnie Mahorter. Please say an extra prayer for Ronnie Mahorter. She's a little girl. She's named after her dad, who passed away. His name was Ronnie, and it was a very tragic accident years ago, which they were just babies. Because I started watching them after that. Ronnie was probably only one, if that old. He drowned while they were all there swimming together, all the kids, all three of his kids and Jody, and he drowned. It was actually on his birthday. That was a very tragic thing, very tragic. Please pray for Michelle, my good friend and sister in Christ, because Dad was really good friends with Jody and Ronnie for years, so they were always around, so we always knew them, you know, and knew the kids. So we were all really close. And that was a very, very horrific tragedy, especially for the oldest daughter. Because she was old enough to, you know what was going on and remember things. She's a mommy herself now, and I know she just recently took her baby, her son, to the grave of her dad, Ronnie, to see his grandpa's grave. He's not one yet. It was so sad when I seen the pictures. She loves her dad so much. Katie does. That's his oldest daughter, Katie. Please pray for Cindy and Jim, my aunt and uncle. Jim still hasn't found out. They still haven't found out what's wrong with Jim yet, but the ultrasound came back good. Please pray for Melly Ramey, my sister. And please pray for Garnet Boyer, my neighbor, and Jim, who lives with her, and her daughter Norma Boyer, who has lung cancer, and Garnet's granddaughter Cara and her husband Josh Newman. I want to pray for a baby for Cara and Josh. They've been trying for so long to have a baby. They've got a home and everything, and they got everything but a baby, and they've already lost one. She had a miscarriage. So please pray that they're able to have a child, a living child. She wants one so bad, and I know what that feels like. Personally know what it feels like, and know what the heartache is of trying and trying and trying and never being able to have a baby, and seeing everybody else around you and your family having babies, but you want one so bad, and seeing people mistreat babies, mistreat children, even in your own family. I don't know about hers, but mine. And It's like people, some people don't care that they even have a child, and you want one so bad, but you're not able to have one. I finally accepted that God just didn't want that for me. He's got a better plan. But her, I really hope she gets to have one, so please pray hard for her to have a baby. Cara Newman. Alright guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night and a great rest of your week. I'll be back another day with the Bible reading. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, I'll see you guys again soon with another Bible reading. Bye guys. God bless.